Over the past couple of years, there's been a couple states that found their way into our hearts, Kentucky being one of them. This week, we're making our way down to the bluegrass states to try to get our hands on one of these early season velvet bucks. Being from Pennsylvania, I've never gotten a chance to chase these animals with some soft, warm velvet still covering their antlers. So I'm super excited that I finally have the opportunity to do just that. And hey, if nothing else, we're still gonna have a good time because that's what we do. Kentucky velvet, let's go.
Down in the field right there.
Well, in order for me to properly tell you the story of Kentucky, we have to take things back to when this love affair started. It all goes back to about 2 years ago in season 2, when Dad, Cud, and the Sharps went to Kentucky to go after some early season velvet bucks of their own. Even though Cud was the only one to have luck on that trip, they went back last year, this time with Colin. And let's just say Cud's luck did not leave him from 2017.
I'm gonna shoot him for sure. A big old buck just come on. I just put him down.
Well, while Cud was having some repeated success, Colin was finding some Kentucky luck of his own.
Matt. That's a tank.
And yet again, my dad was unsuccessful in Kentucky. The only thing that's been missing the last few years has been me. So this year when we picked up a new lease, I made it my mission to get it set up so I can start taking part in this Kentucky fun. Well, Mike and I just arrived to our Kentucky lease. Driving in here, I'm liking it already. There's tons of big draws. Talking to the landowner saying there's tons of deer here. It's time to get in the woods, get some big tine out and find out for ourselves, get some cell cams up and scout from PA, I guess. So after getting all the cameras, all the big tine loaded in the buggy, first thing we wanted to do was just drive the property and get an idea. And the one thing that we did notice is that most of the property is just hay fields. There's not much woods, so we kind of knew where these deer were gonna be in the evenings, especially in these fields. So we wanted to put the big tine relatively close to the field. We want to get these deer on camera, find out how many deer we have, what kind of deer we have, and sort of just get a game plan and get ready for deer season.
We're live.
To catch all the crazy behind-the-scenes action from the Bearded Buck, like us on Facebook and follow us on Instagram.
Well, we are southbound to Kentucky. Super excited. Mike and I were down on our lease here 2 times this summer, putting some big tine out, pulling some cameras, and we got a couple super promising bucks. And the one sort of stands out on by himself. It's a beautiful, typical 10-point. I would really like to get on that deer, but you know, we're not going to be too picky. It's our first year in the lease with a bunch of good deer, and you know, I wish J-Rod was with us coming down there, but you know, just with his knee, he's not going to be able to get up in a stand or anything, and with the short amount of time, I don't think we could rush a ground blind good enough in there to have the deer not really spook on it. But you know, Mike and I are heading down here with high hopes to hopefully get on a deer, but got about a 6-hour drive. See what happens. What I am loving about this Kentucky lease is that it's relatively close to camp here in Pennsylvania, and spending a lot of time there in the summer to get it ready was pretty easy. You know, like I said before, we have some super promising bucks showing up on trail cameras, hitting that big time before they're moving out into the bigger green fields, but the best part is that I can go hunt a lot earlier than I can in Pennsylvania, and after a long summer of hard work, it is just what I needed. But that doesn't mean Kentucky didn't come without some drawbacks. Yeah, that's what happened. I'm done with Kentucky. I'll go home in Pennsylvania right now, Mike. I had enough of it. I already had enough. I got 470 ticks on me.
470 ticks? That is fake news.
I don't even have the tick spray with me. They're everywhere. Everywhere. All those little brown specks, all 700 of them, are all ticks.
More fake news.
That just ruined your day. Not even lunchtime yet. What are you supposed to do?
Come on, Austin, it's not that bad.
On my hunting boots. So I'm gonna wear these again. I'm strictly a November hunter in Kentucky. I ain't coming back next year till November. Velvet buck on the bucket list just went from here to here. I'm done with it. Hate these ticks. I hate them. Had enough of it. No more woods. We're hanging one stand in the woods, and that's it.
It's just a few thousand ticks, buddy. What are you getting all worked up about?
I don't want to hear it. It was the 3rd time we were in there and gone 800 ticks all over us. How about you go in there next time and see how you like it?
Well, look at the bright side, buddy. At least your day can't get any worse.
Well, we're about to go set our first set here. We looked at some trail cams. Got a couple bucks on camera. Nothing too consistent, but we're gonna go ahead and give her heck, you know. Put one up on top of this big hill where a big beautiful 10-point it was we were talking about. It seems like he was coming in every so often before dark and leaving before it gets dark too. So I mean, it's gonna be perfect for us. We can get up top of that hill, kill him before he heads down to the fields and start feeding in the evening. But we're gonna get up there and try to be as quiet and set free as we can, because I don't think he's bedding too far away from where we are gonna head up there. So try to be nice and quiet.
On that side, but there's also a thicket down behind the camera there. But he's coming up on top of this hill, crossing up over this. All the green fields are down that way, and he's hitting on some more big time, and then heading down to the green fields for the evening to eat. So we're gonna try to catch him before he gets down to those big fields.
I fell out.
Mike, we're trying to be quiet. That's not quiet. That's not quiet at all.
This segment is brought to you by Vortex Optics. Vortex, the force of optics. So after all the struggle that we had, we finally managed to get a stand hung for the Big Ten, but there's been no sign of the Big Ten on camera, and with the opening day of archery season starting tomorrow, we decided to go sit in the big field that he's been coming out to and hopefully lay eyes on him.
Well, it's the evening before first day here in Kentucky. We're on this big overlook where we can see probably 600-700 yards at least. And, you know, we're just trying to get a beat on this 10-point. We haven't seen him in a couple days. He hasn't been on camera. But we kind kind of already have the 12 point sort of patterned a little bit over on the other side of the property, but ever since we first got a picture of this 10 point, I've wanted to kill him. So we're hoping to get eyes on him at least, sort of have an idea where he's going. There's a bunch of deer pouring out of the bottom right now. Look like a bunch of doe. Hopefully, cross our fingers, he shows up tonight somewhere. Well, no 10 point tonight. There's deer just absolutely everywhere. I figured he was going to pop out somewhere and let us get a look at him. I mean, there's literally probably 25 deer out in front of us right now. And I know where the 10 is going to be in the rut. It's going to be right here. There's just so many big does out here. But I'm not too upset because we're going to go on the other side of the property tomorrow and go after that 12 that we have patterned. So we'll see. Hopefully we have an opening day buck down.
The plan was simple. Go on the opposite side of the property, kill Elliot, the 12 point, and go home. But no, things always don't go as planned. We woke up in the morning and got a cell cam picture of the Big 10 on top of the hill. And after watching this deer all summer, that we knew if we got a picture of him on top of that hill in the morning, there was a very good chance he was going to be back through there in the evening. So we threw our original plan out the window and decided to not go after what almost seemed like a sure thing and go after the buck that I've been dreaming about all summer long. Well, Mike and I are over here in the property for the first hunt of the year, really. It's the first time we're gonna be out this year and we're super excited. Woke up with tons of notifications on the stealth cam. Both of the bucks that we wanted to be hunting this week are on camera, in daylight, so it's just a matter if they show up, and we're hoping tonight's the night. I know it's killing J-Rod not to be here. He's been texting me back and forth what's going on, which deer are where, and all that good stuff, but it's killing me that he's not here to hunt with us. But we're gonna get the bow out, make sure she's still good to go, and get up there nice and quiet because these deer aren't bedded too far away where we're going.
Hot summer, it's a lazy day. I'm feeling cool in a hideaway. Just you and me to some degree. Seems there's some place that you'd rather be. I tell you that you are my everything, but you're waiting for your phone to ring. You want a driver in a limousine.
We're on, Mike. Ready to go. Just need the deer to show up.
Man, it feels good to be back in a tree stand here in Kentucky on opening day. Hopefully, one of these big old velvet bucks walks by us. You know, we had that lease last year in Kentucky. I really wasn't able to get down there and hunt at all. J-Rod and Cud hunted down there. They got a couple nice buck, but we got a new lease this year. Mike and I were the first ones to put the boots on the ground to sort of figure out the property, figure out what deer were on the property. And, you know, we got a couple real nice bucks that we hope to put an arrow through. One of them tonight is a big old 10 point that happens to be still in velvet. And velvet buck is on the top of my bucket list for sure. But we're set up sort of in between these two bedding areas. We're trying to catch these deer before they head down into these big green fields behind us. And, you know, this time of the year, these deer are basically slaves to their stomachs. You know, they're on that summer feed pattern. And if you can catch them where they're going in toward those fields, I mean, it's game over. Hopefully that's the case tonight. Got in nice and early today, kind of let everything sort of settle down and see what happens here in the opening day of Kentucky.
My God, I just shot my first velvet buck. Give me some, baby. Oh my God, can you believe that happened? I just shot my first velvet buck. I just shot my first velvet buck, baby. Yes, are you kidding me? My first night in Kentucky, baby, we freaking did it. Yes. He was so nervous. He walked straight up on that trail that we walked in. He could smell us. He was so nervous. What a way to start the season. Give me some. Yes.
Well, I could stay in this tree all night calling everybody, telling them I just smoked a velvet buck. But the celebration is gonna have to hold off a little bit longer. It's time for me to go put my hands on my very first velvet buck.
Oh yeah, that arrow's covered in blood. Fletches are all red. And he looked like he turned. And this is gonna be terrible to track him in because it looks like the exact stuff that Mike and I were in on the other side of the property, and we had about 700 ticks on us. But it's all gonna be totally worth it. I'm trying to find some blood here, Mike. Yeah, I'm thinking he followed this trail. Blood right here, blood right there. Yeah, he's starting to open up a little bit more right here. There's tons of blood right here. Mike! Oh my. Look at that velvet. Oh my. I've never touched velvet before, dude. That is insane. Man, I'm almost speechless. It's just a surreal moment to be sitting in front of my very first velvet buck. And to believe, I mean, we just hung this stand 2 days ago, and we didn't even have this guy on camera until yesterday morning. And I was like, you know what, Mike, heck with it. We're gonna go up in that stand and sit there and take a chance that he comes. And I mean, he came walking up this road that we're sitting on right now at 6:15. I mean, it's just crazy. I never thought in a million years I'd be sitting behind a velvet buck on the opening day here in Kentucky. And this is our first year in this lease. And I thought it was going to be a super long grind this season to even get an opportunity to buck, because getting a new lease comes with sort of learning the property, learning the deer, where the deer move, and I just can't be more thankful. I mean, my very first velvet buck, and it went down like that. I'll never forget that.
What a way to start deer season. I mean, we went down to our new lease thinking, hey, we were gonna learn a little bit about the property, learn where the deer were traveling, but no, we came out with my very first velvet buck, and the only thing that could have made it better is if Dad was right there next to me. But you know what? There's always next year, old man, and I'd say I probably owe it to you to get you on a velvet buck. Well, no. We're doing a while. I made it my mission. I did.
Last year, a shoulder injury. This year, I dislocate my kneecap at the beach. One of these seasons, I'm going to start off not on the injured reserve list.
Hashtag 50-year-old problems. Oh, that's right, Jerry. You don't know what hashtags are. We'll explain it later.
Crazy, I never thought in a million years I'd be sitting behind a velvet buck on the opening day here in Kentucky.